DNA testing that the pretenders are trying to do, which is trying to downplay how the DNA system works and how they use how they tightly knit their samples in order to get the haplogroups properly right, and are just trying to poke holes in something that really does work. It doesn't make any sense to me because it's used daily. Autosome. Anytime when they're doing DNA testing for crimes, they're going to look at the autosomal statistics, and this is how they're catching people. They're looking at the people. If someone puts in their DNA information into a pool, all right, and this is how they've been able to catch and close a lot of cold cases, is through autosomal statistics. So how are you going to try to poke holes in DNA and how they get their DNA samples when we have evidence of it working already? It just shows that you don't understand autosomal statistics. And that's the biggest issue that I have with those who I consider to be allies, but at the same time are being anti-science themselves because they just want to simply win an argument. And that's problematic for me. The idea is that, and my concern with Notorious BJP going at them and everything else, is that there are things that she's above water on that they're below water on educationally. And everything is lost because inevitably the argument or discussion is lost because somebody doesn't understand something and they won't admit that they don't understand certain information. All right. It was asked 3 times inside of the conversation, 2 times in the conversation when Notorious was breaking it down. And you could tell that I'm sitting here watching and listening, and you could tell that they did not understand autosomal statistics when they were trying to say that East Eurasian DNA is 8.7%, which means it goes back 30 to 40,000 years ago, when autosomal statistics only goes back 150 to 200 years through commercial testing. You see, it's things like that that don't make sense, that they can't explain, and then you try to say, look, they want to have a debate against me just to save face. And I'm like, the only problem with that is that the biggest loser in that whole thing will be not only the discussion, but the science behind it. Because you're not, even if you think you're going to win me by having the gift of gab, at the very end of the day, if you do win, you just misinformed a bunch of people, okay, about something that you don't understand. That's very dangerous. That's the problem. So we shouldn't have discussions and debates about things that are scientific if you're not on par with Notorious BJP. If you're not there, and that's the reason why I made those posts and those joke posts and things like that out of the admiration for how BJP does a great job holding all 3 guys that are trying to find any way they can to clip you up, if you will, and to try to use your words against you. I have respect for those guys, but then they lost it because at that point, when you try to tell me what to do, I'm not with you. I'm my own man. I do what I think is right. I feel like I'm a science literate guy, and I would rather defend that than to defend just simply saving face for the sake of not winning an argument.
No, and I appreciate that. And you're right. Like, what got lost in translation